Okay, so I've shown you the Yak Face Tri-Logo, which was a mega expensive. The TIE Bomber, which is one of the holy grails of Star Wars collecting. And now, here's a Stormtrooper on what ostensibly looks like it's a Kenner card, but it's not. It's a Top Toys card. So Top Toys was in 1983 they made they were in Argentina, they made some Star Wars figures. So if you notice at the top, it has Spanish writing up there. It says El Regreso del Jedi, whatever, and that's Spanish. And then it's the Stormtrooper there. It's not made in Hong Kong. It was made in Argentina. It's they used the figure molds, and this figure is a totally inferior product. It's a South American figure, so it's similar to the Brazilian Glasslight figures, which were made later. They were made in about 88, 89, and it was the Brazilians that made the most famous, or probably the most expensive figure, which is Vlix, which was from the Droids line. So it says this one's the Stormtrooper. Out of all the Top Toys figures, this one's the most common. This is the second one I've got. I bought one back in the maybe 94, 93. That card wasn't as good as this one. It had a sort of stickiness to it, and the figure's leg was a lot more browner. The browning of these Stormtrooper legs on the Argentine cards is very common. The gun is not like the Kenner gun. It's an inferior quality gun. It's not as detailed. I'll give you a close-up of that in a minute. So if you look at the top of the card, it says Top Toys just in both corners, and then it has the Return of the Jedi logo in Spanish, then the Stormtrooper name. So that's pretty much similar, very similar to a US Kenner card, and it even has the Kenner logo there. So, and it says made by Top Toys, General Mills Incorporated Limited. This one's graded AFA. So the card gets a 85, the bubble gets a 85, and the figure gets an 80. And let's see if I can get a close-up of the gun to show you how different it is to the regular Kenner versions. The figure is totally different. They say it's smaller, and often it has a brown leg, and they don't have peg holes either. So as you can see, this one doesn't have peg holes. So, and this is the most common of the Argentine figures. So you might be able to track this down. You should be able to track it down. So I know Brian's Toys had quite a lot of these a couple of years ago. This one's an 85. It's near mint, so this is quite a high grade. And then the back of this is probably what's most interesting about the Argentine cards. It's a mixture of styles. It's got the picture from the 12 back cards there, so it's got the 12 figures there, and then at the bottom it's got the Jedi figures that you can get on it. So you could get Logray, Luke Skywalker, Jedi, Chief Chirpa, Yoda, and Lando in the skiff outfit. So it's got all the names here, and then a little description in Spanish, and then it's got the vintage, or the other figures that you could get, and descriptions of what you can get with them. So it's got, so according to this, you could get C-3PO, which I've never seen, Han Solo, never seen, Chewbacca, I'm not sure, I don't think I've seen that, R2-D2, or they call it R2-E2, Princess Leia, never seen, Stormtrooper, well I've got two of them, I have seen others, Darth Vader, I've got one, loose, I mean carded but not graded, that's in a better condition than the first Stormtrooper I bought. You should also get Ben Kenobi, Boba Fett as well, so never seen those. if you go on to Star Wars Collector's Archive and try and find pictures of these, you won't be able to find pictures of many of these figures. So apart from the Stormtrooper, these are mega rare figures. The Vader, you might come across that as well. Then you've got the El Osito Ewok, so that one would be Chief Chirpa. I think I've seen that once, and I had the chance to buy it, I didn't, so, and we're talking about the mid-90s. I turned my nose up against, I saw a Jawa on Trilogo. I didn't know it was what it's worth now, so it was probably only about 20 quid, and I just turned my nose up at it, because in those days Trilogos just didn't seem that hot. I mean, in those days I'd rather get a Jedi card, a Kenner card or a Palatoy card. If I only knew with hindsight how much the Jawa on the Trilogo is worth, but I just turned my nose up at it. Then you've got Luke, Jedi, you've got Yoda, even though he's an Empire Strikes Back figure, Logray, and Lando Calrissian. So if you want to find out more about these, go onto the Star Wars Collector's Archive, go to the foreign toys. They've got a brilliant section. They've got loads of stuff about the French stuff, the German stuff, the British Palatoy, Italian Harbour, and it's really worth checking out, and a little bit about these figures as well. So you'll find a picture of the Stormtrooper, you'll find a picture of Darth Vader and probably the Ewoks, but any of the other characters you won't find any pictures. So apart from the Stormtrooper, these are pretty rare. The card back, it's got the double line just like the 12 backs. So this is a sort of mixture of styles. It's got the Return of the Jedi type front, and then a sort of mixture of Jedi and the old Star Wars 12 back. So it's got the double lines, it's got the painting there, plus the figures there. So this is quite a nice thing to get in this condition, and it's a nice foreign card. I like foreign stuff, so I'm not gonna, and I think I paid quite a good price for it. So there you are, and then you can see the AFA hologram label, and it says 1983 Topps Toys Star Wars Return of the Jedi. There's also Toll Toys, that's the Australian distributor, and those are mega rare. I've never seen any of that on eBay or at collector marts in the UK. So the Australian stuff, apart from the Power of the Force, Gamorrean Guard and the AT-AT driver and maybe the Nikto, apart from that I've never seen any Australian vintage figures in the UK. So those are probably the, I'd say, because I haven't got any, they're the rarest ones to get. So they are the Stormtrooper. So it's a slightly different sculpting to the regular US version or the Hong Kong version, and where you can see the eyes aren't so well painted, and the sculpting, there's a certain lack of detail, and the gun is a lot more just crude, it's simple. So that's your Argentine Stormtrooper. Strange that something, well, you know, like the two countries, the history of the Falklands weren't nonsense, so you know. Anyway, that's your Argentine Stormtrooper. Just one look at the back again. So you've got there, that's your Top Toys, there's the logo, Top Toys, two children joined together there. It even has the Luke and Leia logo that you used to get on the 12 backs. So that's pretty neat. So this is from South America. So if you're into foreign Star Wars, something you might want to start collecting or trying to track down if you're into foreign vintage. I like modern vintage as well. I've got quite a few Italian Power of the Force 2 figures. I really like them, and a lot of the British releases of the Power of the Force figures. So they're sort of a tri-logo card as well, plus a few of the Canadian ones. But back in the 80s and late 70s, there's a lot more variety in foreign cards, because you had Australians, you had German cards, you had Italian, you had French, all that sort of stuff. Really liked French as well. So plus Palitoy. So that's your Top Toys Stormtrooper. So let's just turn him around. There's a side view, and there you are. Let's see. And there's the AFA grade. There's the gun, which is totally much more simpler sculpt than the Kenner version. Same picture though. Two Stormtroopers. Okay, so the only picture variation you're going to get on the Stormtrooper card is the tri-logo version, which just has one Stormtrooper. So, you know, otherwise all cards have those two Stormtroopers on them. From a scene from A New Hope. I showed last week, I think, a Kenner version of a 77 back Stormtrooper on a Return of the Jedi card. So if you want to check that out and see how similar and different these two cards are, and the figures as well.